Drraj. Welcome back.
Hi.
Hi. So, in this vlog, we want to focus a little more or specifically on one of our services that we provide to the clients, and that is coaching. So, let's begin with what exactly is coaching for you.
What exactly coaching for me is one part, but what in general coaching is all about, the way I understood, is helping people realize their fullest potential. But the care that we need to take is not to spoon feed them, but to help them discover it for themselves. I think that's the whole spirit of coaching, the way I have understood and the way I've been practicing all through. So there are people with a lot of hidden potential. So there may be more that they can bring it out from themselves. It's just that they need to engage in a conversation with themselves very deeply, and that deeper conversations oftentimes is facilitated by a person called coach. So if a person like a coach is available, you start looking within and start exploring more about yourself, and in the process evolve into a better professional or a better person.
Right. Can you describe a few core principles that underpin most of the coaching practices?
Principles, I think one of the very important principles that I follow is assuring the confidentiality to the coachee, the person who is going through the coaching process. I must ensure that complete confidentiality is maintained. Otherwise, they wouldn't feel comfortable opening up with a coach. And also provide enough privacy. I mean, they should have a feeling that I don't, take this conversation and start talking loosely somewhere else and, encroaching into uncomfortable areas of their conversation. So I must ensure privacy. I must ensure confidentiality. I think, to my mind, I think these two are very core of coaching.
Right.
Yeah.
Now we've done so many coaching sessions in the past. Why do you see the importance of coaching, or how do you see it as being impactful for an individual or an organization as a whole?
Yeah, if somebody hasn't gone through the experience of coaching anytime, it is a little difficult to imagine that a coach can really help you so much. General feeling is, coaching after all is, dialoguing with somebody, spending some time, and that person seems to be asking a series of questions and, making you think. So you start feeling that that's all right. And so how does it really make so much of difference? But the people who have experienced those few sessions, they start having this wow experience. Because suddenly they feel that, oh my God, such a simple insight. Why did I not get it all these years? So thanks to the coach, and I'm able to see that side of myself. So those little smallest of the insights and windows open up for themselves, for their development. Those are all the wow moments people experience. And there are so many such kind of occasions where people understood about themselves, their dilemmas much more, very clearly. And they have developed a sense of thought clarity. They resolve their dilemmas. They get into action. They sometimes they just discuss, they just express themselves, and you have a coach who understands you much better. So there are plenty of these takeaways that people experience. But when you just read it as a just a concept, someone is going to come and talk to you for 1 hour. So you may not really appreciate the total value of coaching until you experience it once or twice. And fortunately, many leaders in the organizations have gone through this experience. Now they are encouraging their team members also to go through similar experiences. And therefore, we see a huge acceptance of coaching compared to a few years earlier.
So it's more like, more than telling what is right and what is wrong, it's more like showing a different perspective, and it's already within them and just giving them a direction or a perspective.
Perfect. You very well summarized. Yeah.
Right. Could you tell us one success story, that really stayed with you, and it just, kind of gives you a push every single time when you think of that story from coaching?
Not one. I think there are so many such beautiful experiences that I have had. Starting from very initial days, which was about maybe 8 to 10 years ago, when coaching was still not a big concept that was well understood by people. Someone was assigned to me. It's like, I'm using this word very consciously. Someone was assigned to me as a coach. I mean, as a coachee, and I was assigned as a coach.
Coach.
And so we were supposed to start our first meeting, and the initial reaction I could sense was that that person was actually doubting, who is this person suddenly coming and then asking me about, what am I, what are my dilemmas, what is that I want to discuss, which areas I want to focus on, can I open up with this individual or not? So I understood that there was that element of mistrust, or a kind of a little doubting about this entire engagement. I mean, those were the days with that person. But I must really quickly jump, and maybe after about 8 or 9, meetings with that person, he officially wrote back to me that meeting you was one of the best thing that have happened in my life. And the person literally has grown in the career, because the person started now understanding that I'm capable of much more. I must take initiative, I must latch on to the opportunities, I must create opportunities. And the person has grown into a global in charge of research and development in one of the organizations. The person
Wow.
actually wrote to me saying, this is phenomenal, because otherwise I would have just remained a very contented person. But thanks to these dialogues, it really made me, focus and started unleashing my experiences. So that was one of the very early
That's
things.
great. That
And
sounds great.
yeah, and as I speak, this morning, we are recording this in the afternoon. This morning, I had one wonderful session where the person said, I don't know how you did it, but you spoke to me for 50 minutes and you summarized in 30 seconds what actually is bothering me. So there's the kind of little mirroring that they go through, and then they say, wow, and now I'm very clear about what I need to address. So these are kind of a small little celebrations. There are plenty of such things, yeah, that I really enjoyed.
I think these are the things that really keep us going every single
Absolutely,
day.
absolutely, yeah.
You've brought coaching into the industry when people did not even understand the sea of coaching. So, what were the initial challenges, or what are the misconceptions that people had when you had brought in this concept of coaching?
I wouldn't claim that I brought coaching, but
Yeah,
I was one of the very early, persons or professionals who
who
got into
introduced
this,
it into the industry, maybe.
yeah, the
Yeah.
coaching. And I myself got introduced to coaching very accidentally. Once I had one leadership workshop that I conducted for a group of people, and one person out of that met me after the workshop, and he said, your workshop really made me think a lot, and it actually created some more questions within me, and I want to have an opportunity to personally meet and chat with you. Is it possible? Can you spare half an hour for me? But since it was done as an in-house program, so I checked with the HR there, and so I asked them, "Is it okay for me to meet this person, because this person wanted some, help?" They were so open, and they said, "Yeah, by all means, please meet up." And I met not just for 30 minutes, but it took more than an hour and a half. And it was very beautiful kind of conversation. I didn't know that it was called coaching at that time, but the word of mouth went around, and many more people from that batch started asking for the personal time, one on one. So officially, I started now playing the role of a coach for a few people from that batch. So that was the beginning of the whole thing. And then when I tasted this process of conversation, I read little more about it. I learned, I got certified, I sort of upped my skill a little more. to ensure that I should be playing this role, with much more competence. So that is how it I started. Now, very early part, um, I think people used to feel that if you are lacking in some competence or you have some issue with yourself, you will be assigned to a coach. That was the very initial feelers that were there, that as if it's a measure to fix your deficiency. But thankfully, now over the years and more recently, I see coaching as a tool to unleash the potential of an individual. Now, people are not seeing this as a fix to a problem. I think people are
Right.
seeing it as a developmental kind of opportunity. Even participants who are coming into the process, they're seeing this as my organization has identified me for coaching, which means that they think I have more potential. So they're seeing it much more positively these days, and therefore I think I guess coaching is really expanding its wings.
Right. What does a typical coaching session look like, and how does it like what is the progress measured in terms of like for a coaching session?
Wow, that's quite a loaded question. So to explain the entire process of coaching, but I'll try to sort of keep it very simple. I think
Simple.
the very beginning is all about sort of agreeing to the agenda. What is that you want to really discuss, and what should be the takeaways? Let's say we meet for three times or 4 sessions or 6 sessions, whatever is the time frame that we have. What is that we would like to accomplish? What are the themes that you would like to pick up for a discussion? So that is something that some people come very well prepared when they get into coaching. For example, when I am acting as a coach, and if a participant comes in with that homework, I think my job is, very well taken off, and so we can take off from that clarity of agenda. But some people say, yeah, and I think I need to sort of improve myself as a leader or as a manager or as a, in my relationship, but exactly I don't know what it is. So the first phase is all about arriving and developing that sense of clarity. What is that you would like to focus on? What is that you would like to improve upon? So that's the first phase. And the next one, obviously, is exploring various ways of addressing that particular theme. Obviously, I think there is no one way of improving yourself. There could be many more. I think we should engage into a conversation and build so many scenarios, so many possibilities. Among all of that, usually I encourage the participant to choose which one is more comfortable and the person is more at ease to try out. So usually, I think we agree. Okay, this is a great idea. Among all the ideas, I think this is something that I want to try. So great. I think go back, try it out, and then come back into the next session with your experiences. Has it worked or not worked? Or you want to modify something else? If it has worked, then how is it really benefiting you? So some of those things we recalibrate, and it goes on. So typically this is broadly the process.
Very
First
tailor made
define,
to what the
then
client.
yeah, so then evolve various ways of working on it, then actually try it out, and then come back and share the experiences, refine it or regulate it, or make it a regular kind of a practice. So this is broadly the process that I have been following as a part of my coaching engagements.
All right. Where do you see the field of coaching heading to in the next? Now you've seen it already for the last 10 years, and where do you see it going in the next 5 to 10 years?
I think it will really expand much more because people are seeing the benefit of the whole thing, and thankfully, the evolution of technology has really made it so simple. There were
Right.
days when I used to travel to a few places and just for a couple of hours of sessions and meet and then come back. So all of that is a lot of effort, a lot of cost involved, etc. But these days, I think thanks to the technology, a lot of collaborative tools, I think you can just sit anywhere in the world and you can get into coaching. Very recently, I started doing a few coaching assignments to a few people, a few leaders in the African region. We are about, from India, I think it's about 3.5 to 4 hours behind, in terms of the timing. So we adjust those times, and there's no need to travel to Africa. And I sit in India, and then we are engaging into coaching conversations beautifully. So it's just widening the reach, and the need is felt, and technology made it easy. So therefore, I think I can only see the growth and much more in the field of coaching. So I think, but we need more and more professional coaches in this field.
Right. So we've we're seeing the advantages of what technology can give us, but do you see any disadvantage with the way the emerging trends or technology can be, impactful on coaching in the way it is being received or it is being delivered?
I don't see any downside right now. I mean, in fact, there is a talk of coaching being enabled by artificial intelligence. So
Right.
we keep hearing that there's a AI enabled kind of a coaching.
Coach.
While I think technology can definitely be used in some part of the diagnosis, or pulling out some of the tips to handle some of the challenges and all of that, but a sense of coaching, according to me, is that comfort that I'm talking to another professional who understands me and who helps me to evolve. So
So
while
human
I
touch is
am,
something when it
yeah,
is involved
while
with AI.
I'm not against the use of technology at all, but let's not take the heart out of the coaching, which is
Right.
all about that human connection with a lot of trust and confidentiality.
Right. If you want to leave the listeners with one thing, or one advice that you would want to give the coaches, what would it be? The new emerging coaches, probably.
I think one should really understand the process, the skills, and the spirit of coaching. It's not about teaching. It's not about doling out your experiences to them. It's not just about prescribing things to your participant. I think the spirit of coaching is more discovery. We should never deviate from that, because sometimes our excitement, our rich experiences, the variety of fields that we might have operated might just prompt us to dole out some prescriptions, some suggestions, and all of that, which I think we should really stay away. But that's not the spirit of coaching. Coaching is all about self-discovery. So practice all of that, and yeah, it's a lot more practice, a lot of empathy, a lot of listening. So there are a bunch of skills, but otherwise I think you should just enjoy that thanks to your coaching someone is evolving into a
Right.
better professional and a better person. I think that's a beautiful takeaway. Enjoy that.
Right. Thank you so much, Dr. Raj. That was a wonderful session we've had.
Pleasure to recall the early beginnings of my coaching to wherever it is now. And you also made me think a little ahead. I mean, I never thought about it, but yeah, I mean, thanks to your good questions, I could just peep into the future as well. So hope this has been of some use, and yeah, pleasure
Thank you so much.
joining
Thank
for
you so
this.
much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Raj.
Sure.
Bye.